What's up everybody, Kevin back with another collection update, and before I do get to this video, if you haven't done so yet, please check out episode 11 of Life of a Game Seller. I put a decent amount of work into the video itself and would really appreciate some feedback on it. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and also be able to check out some of my other past videos as well. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with today's collection update. Alright, so moving on to current gen stuff, this is actually a smaller amount than I think the last couple of ones that I posted up. The first things that I do want to cover over the 3 Vita games that I recently picked up, and both of these have mixed opinions depending on who you talk to about them, but they're both exclusive versions for the Vita. I think the first one is on PS3, but please somebody correct me on that. But it's a action RPG by Xseed, and it is Valhalla Knights 3. I haven't played the previous 2 yet, but from what my buddy Joe told me, that it's a action RPG very similar to the likes of Final Fantasy XII. And I like the combat on that. I think it doesn't get as good as, as good of, you know, a rep as some of the other Final Fantasies or any other action RPG, but honestly, I'm still going to give this a try. I haven't yet because I've been playing too much Fighting Climax, which, if you haven't done so yet, please get that game. It's really good if you're into Marvel vs. Capcom. And also the other one, speaking of a fighting game, this one, it's mixed for people. It's like a good pick-me-up, excuse me. It's Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and the mechanic for this is that it's a gem collecting thing, kind of like how it is with Power Stone, but not as good as Power Stone. But its fighting combat is very similar to like Street Fighter, and which is kind of odd because there's Tekken characters, so you would have assumed that it was a Tekken type feel, but unfortunately it's mixed for people, but I do like it. It's a very simple fighter to get into, and honestly, it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. And of course, the last thing, I did a unboxing of this on my channel. If you haven't done so, check that out. But it is, of course, Legend of Heroes Trail of Cold Steel. And this is a 2-parter series of games that the second part will probably be released sometime next year, or I don't know, whenever they decide to bring it out. But I've heard my buddy Joe, again, talking about this game in particular, and there's been a couple of games that have came out for the PSP. I haven't played this series yet, but I'll be sure to give this a playthrough. And of course, one game in particular that, unfortunately, some people have said is out of print. It is not Bayonetta 2. I got that on launch day, by the way. Someone asked Scott, aka Grimsy42, that if this game is actually worth $150. And I started doing some looking around, and I found this particular game for $40, and I even said that Amazon and Toys R Us had this game brand new factory sealed for $40, and for those that don't know what I'm talking about, it is, of course, Gina's Sister's Director's Cut. And I was looking at the trailer, and it looks really good. It kind of reminds me of how Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends was. Okay, and the last few things before I get to the 2 big pickups. So the first thing that I ended up picking up was the AC Power Pack for the Virtual Boy, and for those that have never seen this, it basically lets you use your AC adapter for the Super Nintendo for it, and that way you don't have to waste money on AA batteries, so you're able to save money that way. And then of course the other thing I ended up picking up was a game that was recommended by Classic Game Room, and that is of course Shining Into the Darkness, or Shining to the Darkness. I got that mixed up. Gonna do this quick because I got 7 minutes left on recording, but the first one I didn't have for some reason, and I decided to get the upgraded version, and that is of course Fable: The Lost Chapter. And then of course the other one, which is another party game for the Xbox that I wanted to give a check out to, because some of my friends do like to do LAN parties over at the shop and over at the house as well. But the game that I ended up picking up for recently was Iron Phoenix, and this is for the original Xbox too. And it's a Xbox exclusive, which I didn't know much about, but apparently it takes first-person shooter tactics with fighting game combos. And I saw like a couple of gameplay footage on it, and it looks fun. Like, it's a more over-top third-person type of fighter type game so far. I didn't see any first-person view type of little gameplay involved yet. And honestly, graphically, it looks very impressive. Like, there's some screenshots. I don't know if the glare is gonna do it much justice, but you'll have to take my word and actually check some video out. And it's been mixed so far from people. Okay, now the last two pickups. These are systems that I've wanted to get for a very long time, and honestly, these are some of my most sought after ones that I've wanted to get for a while, and now I can honestly say that I have them officially. The first one, I wanted to get this after the first time I opened the store up because I never got to get one in person. And I had one before, but it didn't work and I had to sell it back off. And if you saw the last episode of Life of a Game Seller, you already know about the pickup I'm talking about, and that is, of course, a TurboGrafx 16. I've waited so long to get this system, and it is honestly one of those holy grails that I wanted. To me, this is a holy grail. And I know there's a lot of collectors that already own this right now, and they have loved this system since first getting it. Me and my family never had anything like this because we didn't even know it existed. We had Genesis and Super Nintendo at the time, so to be able to finally say that I have a TurboGrafx 16 makes me so happy in the end, and I just need to be able to try to find some games for it now, which that'll probably take a while because I've already got a backlog anyways, but eventually I'll get some, but it won't happen anytime soon. And then, of course, the last thing that I ended up getting, I'm trying to remember if this was episode 8 of Life of a Game Seller that I already shown this off, but I've already got the game out of this package into there. During Christmas one year when this thing was out, it was over at Toys R Us, and I wanted, like, Pokemon N64 stuff. And when I saw this in stores, I freaked out. I asked my mom to get me this for Christmas. And she thought I meant Hey You Pikachu, which was the item next to this item. And by Christmas, I saw this, like, big, thick, small box, and I opened it up, and it was Hey You Pikachu, and I was utterly destroyed. But after, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say, like, almost 9 years, 8 years, or whatever it's been, I finally now have in my possession to fix that injustice, and I ended up getting this during December. And it is a complete in-box Hey You Pikachu, or N64 Pikachu. This thing is complete, and I've already shown the video footage of it, but yeah, this thing, it has some wear and tear on it, but it is still in very good shape. There's, like, literally no rips on the box whatsoever, and the system itself is in mint condition. The only thing that is missing for it is the styrofoam ball for the microphone, but I can get that for cheap online on eBay and just be able to piece everything together. So that's the collection update. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I had to do so many retakes on this because I felt that it wasn't complete enough, or it felt like it was rushed, to say the least. But I'm happy with the two systems I got, and also the games as well. So if you haven't done so, again, please check out the channel if you're new, and subscribe to be able to check out any more future videos. So anyways, thanks again for watching, and I will see each and every single one of you on the next collection update.